Alright, let's go ahead and start on the chapter, okay? Now, I went ahead and put all the vocabulary on the board on the side for you guys. So keep in mind, these are the vocabulary that you guys need to learn for this chapter. Now, I don't want you guys to just jot it all down right now, because I'm going to go through these words as the lesson progresses, okay? So go ahead and just pay attention to our first subject, which is the variety of Southern Asia. Okay, so Southern Asia is divided into two parts. There's Southern Asia and Southeast Asia, and there's a lot of different geographical characteristics of this Asia basically. There is a mountain region, there's a rainforest, and there's deserts, right? So here's a picture of a rainforest in Southeast Asia. So from the northern part, which is the Himalayas, right? And it goes towards the more wet and more moisture rainforest. So there's different areas, and there's deserts as well in this region. Now, let's go into Southern Asia a little bit, okay? Now, South Asia, let's go ahead and actually show you a map too. I have a lot of maps for you guys. This is South and Southeast Asia. Okay, guys, take a look at that. It's a big, broad view to show you the whole region. This is South Asia right here, and Southeast Asia is down on the bottom right there, okay? Now I'm going to have this for you guys to take a look at, so we can go ahead and look through it and point out the different regions and the different countries. But if you want to take a closer look, we have the northern part of South Asia right here. This is the northern part of this. You see India, you see that? You see Pakistan, all that stuff. And then this is a map of the southern part. Now this one shows Thailand and Indonesia, Philippines, right? So we're going to go ahead and go through this, and I'm going to go ahead and use this map as a reference so you guys show you different geographical regions in Southeast and South Asia, okay? So South Asia includes different countries. Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. There's a lot of different nations that comprise this area. Now, let's go ahead and go into what a subcontinent is, okay? A subcontinent, which these countries that are included in the subcontinent is India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, are all included in a subcontinent. So what is a subcontinent? Let's go ahead and go to the board and see what it defines it as. Subcontinent is a large landmass that is part of a continent, but it is geographically separated from it. So for instance, if you take a look at this map right here, you see the Himalayas right here on the top? That's that northern mountain barrier. Now that's a natural geographical region that separates this region from that region. That is what we consider a subcontinent. Okay, so anything that's a natural thing, a sea, a body of water, basically a mountainous region that separates this continent from the whole continent. Because the continent of Asia is huge, but this is still considered part of Asia, but that natural geographic region of the mountain range kind of makes it a separate subcontinent, okay? So there's three main geographic regions in this area. There's the northern, there's three regions in the Southeast Asia. There's the northern mountain rim, which I just talked about right now, which is the Himalayas, the mountainous region right here. Okay, and let's go talk a little bit about the Himalayas, okay? The Himalayas is the most famous mountain pass, like I said before, in the world. It's basically about 1,500 miles. 1,500 miles of mountains. So look at these, if you can imagine this mountain, Mount Everest, and this mountain here, going just across the northern part of South Asia. That's how big the Himalayas are. Now there's this thing called the Khyber Pass, which is a little section where it connects that northern part from the southern part, so people can pass through, okay? Again, let me talk a little bit about Mount Everest. Mount Everest is one of the tallest mountains in the world. It is taller than 23 Empire State Buildings. Has anyone been to America? Has anyone visited the Empire State Building? Anyone? Well, if you haven't, it's a really, really tall building. It's about 100 floors up, and if you can imagine 23 of these buildings stacked together, that's how tall this mountain is. Now, Mount Everest is one of the most dangerous climbs for mountaineers, and so there's a lot of stories out there. If you guys are interested, about survival stories of how these people actually made that whole mountain trip all the way to the top. Okay, let's go on to the next subject. This region, by the way, the mountainous region, it's very hard conditions to live. The weather is very hard, the conditions is very cold, and it's not a very good place to farm, so it's not very heavily populated by people. But, on the other hand, the northern plains, which is the second thing we're talking about here, the three areas of the Southeast Asian, is basically a better area for people to live. Now, this northern plains is the region between, go ahead and use this right here. So this is the Himalayas right here, and this is the southern part of India. The northern plains lies in the middle right here. That's the northern plains. Now, the northern plains is basically includes the most famous river that we would want to talk about today. And again, it revolves around water. It's the Ganges River. Now, the Ganges River is a river that goes right through India, and the people of India use that river for everything. It is their source for food, it's their source for bathing, and also they actually use it for spirituality. So here's different pictures. This is a picture of the Ganges River. You see all the people around there? They're all doing different things. This person's on a boat. This person's bathing. Someone's doing their laundry. Do you see that? Now, they also rely on that water for crops, like the Ganges right here. And also, animals rely on the river as well to take drinks of water. Right, do you see that? It's pretty cool. Pretty cool picture, huh? And the last of all is, well, it's spirituality. Now, if you know a little bit about the Hindu religion in India, they consider this a sacred river because it's such a lifeline in India. It's okay, no worries. But it's a lifeline in India. And basically what happens is people come to the river every day and they bathe in the river, not just to wash themselves, but it's more of a spiritual thing, basically, to go ahead and cleanse themselves in a spiritual sense. So, if you guys have never been to India, it's a very interesting place. It's one of the largest countries in the whole world. It's the second largest heavily populated country in the world.